The government is issuing new guidelines on visas used heavily by tech companies to hire foreign engineering workers. The visa program is called H-1B. The Justice Department and the Department of Homeland Security say they want to make sure the visas are not being misused at the expense of U.S. workers. And as Aditi Roy reports from San Francisco, the filing period starts today.
Purva Gupta came to the U.S. from India in 2013. She arrived on a spouse visa with her husband, who was on an H-1B visa. But Purva had her own dream of starting a company. For that, she too needed an H-1B. That was easier said than done.
The more difficult part is that it's a lottery, it's a gamble.
Last year, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services received more than 236,000 H-1B applications for 85,000 spots. The government has a lottery to select the visa holders. Critics of the system, which include President Trump, argue it favors outsourcing companies that flood the program with applicants to clinch the majority of these visas for cheaper workers.
Unfortunately, over time, what's happened is that there's been loopholes in the program that actually allow employers to bring in workers at much lower wage rates than Americans.
Howard University professor Ron Hira is an expert on the issue and has testified to Congress about the need for reform. He says another problem with the current system is that there's no requirement for companies to recruit American workers first.
And so what's happened is the program's been dominated by employers who are really making profits over replacing or substituting for American workers with these H-1B workers.
While the Trump administration has signaled it would reform the system, so far no changes have been issued. Tech companies like Google, Microsoft, and Amazon rely heavily on immigrant workers, and many in Silicon Valley say these companies could be hurt by changes to the program. Still, some believe some changes are necessary.
I'm not convinced that the current policy is not only serving the American person, it's also not serving the best immigrant talent either.
Manan Mehta is the founder of Unshackled, a venture capital firm that invests in startups by immigrant founders to help them navigate the immigration process. He hopes those who would benefit under a reformed H-1B process would be entrepreneurs, not outsourcing companies.
Imagine if the 35,000 of the 85,000 a year that go to IT outsourcing companies went to entrepreneurs instead, and they created 10 jobs each. Would we be having these discussions today? I don't know if we would.
Purva, who's sponsored by Unshackled, says she didn't make the lottery the first time she tried, but she was able to remain in the country through her spouse visa and received her H-1B on her second try. Reggie Fu, another Unshackled entrepreneur, just submitted his H-1B application and worries about what will happen if he doesn't win this lottery.
If that happens, I couldn't continue my business here.
I've talked to some immigration attorneys while they were preparing applications last week. They say they're handling fewer applications this year, partly because the fees have been getting higher even under the Obama administration, and also because of uneasiness over the current political climate. For Nightly Business Report, I'm Aditi Roy, San Francisco.